Went to Whole Foods again. I think I go there like every day, every other day. So I got this. This is at the checkout line. It does have milk in it. So, I mean, not vegan, but I'm not really a militant vegan anymore. I used to be. When I first started, I was like 17. And from the time I'd started until maybe a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, I was super strict about it. Like, if it had eggs or milk or anything in it, I wasn't gonna eat it. But now, I don't eat eggs, dairy, meat, like on a regular basis. Every now and then I'll have some fish. Sometimes I'll buy something that does have eggs or milk in it. But it isn't like a daily thing. Oh goodness. I kind of got all into the packaging there, but this looks good. It's coffee, marshmallow, salted caramel, 66% dark chocolate. It's pretty good. It's more caramel than marshmallow, I think. Oh, one side's marshmallow, one side's caramel. Okay. And the marshmallow is like a chocolate marshmallow. Or maybe coffee marshmallow. I don't know. Oop. There's little salt crystals on it. I just love that texture of marshmallow dipped in chocolate. The salt on the top is nice. That's good. It's not overbearingly sweet, but it is sweet. But the reason I went to Whole Foods is for water and iron. Also grabbed some forks while I was in there because they got the area that you can get like free silverware. It's supposed to be for like if you bought something off the bar, but I have some canned food I want to eat, so I got those. They're free. I don't know why this is wrapped in plastic like this. Seems like unnecessary packaging. Because I mean, water could get inside of this layer of plastic, so it isn't really protecting it from anything. But this is called chelated iron. It is vegan. The other ingredients are rice flour, vegan capsule, magnesium stearate, all vegan. I don't know if you can read that. My dyslexic self trying to read these fancy words. The iron as ferrous bisaglate, FERROUS BISGLYCATE, 15 milligrams. It's 100% of your daily value. Note, if you're pregnant, nursing, have any health condition, or are taking any medication, consult your healthcare practitioner. Oh my gosh. There we go. Now, I've bought iron from Whole Foods before. This is the 365 brand, and the one I bought before was the 365 brand. But it didn't say chelated iron on it, and I did not bring it with me from when I left. So I bought a new bottle. I don't remember what the other one looked like. It says take one daily with food, so I just ate some food, and I got some pretzels. I can eat those. But let's see if there's going to be any difference. Here's my eyes now before taking iron supplements, and maybe, hopefully in a couple days or a few weeks or so, it'll get better. Try to find a place to park in the shade, but there's like nowhere shady in these parking lots. I wish they would do a better job at planting bigger trees and having less grass spaces and replacing the grass with like native wildflowers. Speaking of which, I've been planting a lot of flowers recently. I need to get more wildflowers. I know you can get free wildflowers from the national park, but every time I try to fill out the form, it says invalid. I don't know why. At first I thought it was because I was using a post office box, and then I redid it using a home address, and it still wasn't working, so I don't know if their site is just messed up and they don't know it and no one's told them, or what's going on. Let's see. Let's put this away somewhere out of the sun. And another thing I bought this from Walmart, is orange oil. Now they sell it in these cans. This was about $5 or so. And they sell it as odor eliminating air freshener made from 100% natural oils. And if you look at the back, it says no artificial fragrance, all natural, no parabens, no chemicals, no phthalates. It's PHTHALATES. No propellants, eco-friendly, cruelty-free, not tested on animals, and it's 100% orange citrus oil. You can buy these bottles of orange oil. They're like that big, and it's like $35 or so. You take it and you put, like, I don't remember what the ratio is, but you put a certain amount in like a bucket of water, like a 5-gallon bucket of water, and you pour it out on an anthill, and it kills the ants. So I had some ants in my floorboard, and I remembered my Nana always has this, and it always works on ants. And I was like, I bet that's the same thing as that orange oil I've been using in the garden, or I used to use in my garden when I used to have a garden. Because my grandparents are the ones that actually put me on that orange oil stuff too. So I went to Walmart, and yeah, they have it, because I didn't want to spend $34 on a bottle of that stuff, which, I mean, it would be more practical to have that bottle of stuff, but I don't have $35, so I bought this for like $5, and I've used about half of it, but I sprayed my floorboard down because there's a lot of ants, and I sprayed my clothes down because it also repels I looked on the internet. It repels all kinds of things, like ticks and fleas and mites and lice. So when I go into people's yards, especially people that I can just tell like there's probably gonna be bugs and stuff, spray that on my feet and on my ankles and stuff. So hopefully that'll help with that. And then I can get the bigger jug when I get some more money, and I can make little solutions of it and use that, and that'll actually save me money, even though it'll cost me more money up front. And I can use it to get rid of ant hills in places that I like to hang out and lay on the grass and stuff. So yeah, I spent this morning. I went to the river park and did a survey of all the plants with I have this app that's called Picture This, and you take a picture of the plant and it tells you what kind it is and a bunch of stuff about it. It even has features for like insects and weeds, and to know if a plant is dangerous, and some other stuff I can't remember. And but you just take a picture of it, and it uses, I guess, AI, and it tells you what it is, and it puts it into your collection, so you can have different collections of like different areas that you've been to. And that's what I love to do. So I went to the river and took a whole bunch of pictures of stuff, and one of the things I'd planted a little while back was some cat grass. So it's cat oats. Actually, it isn't catnip, but it's like, I think some sort of like rye. And when I went back after I planted that, I noticed this kind of like oat type, wheat type stuff was growing, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's the cat grass. So I did a survey of the area, taking pictures of everything, and that was actually a rye. And I was like, so I wonder if that's what that was, because I'd never seen that before in that area, and that's what I had planted there. So um, yeah, planted some rye because there's a stray cat over there. And I found some pokeweed over there, and just some typical like roadside weeds and stuff. But I bought from Dollar Tree some more flowers. Dollar Tree always coming in clutch for $1. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's $1.25 now. Yeah, and some of them, but mine's still, most of everything's still $1. This was still $1. Um, and this is a flower rocket, and it says just plant, and it's got a picture of them just planting it. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna find somewhere that I want to plant it. See, it's got all the, it's basically like it's already ready to go, you know. So these are a zinnia mix, which is good for, I live in Arkansas, so it's good for native bees. I stood there and Googled what's good for what flowers do Arkansas bees like, and that one was on the list and one that they had, so I grabbed it. That's one thing you got to be careful about in like box stores and stuff, is they might have a mix. It's like wildflower mix or something along those lines, and it might be an invasive species, or it might be something that could be destructive to your ecosystem because it might not be native, and so if it doesn't have a natural predator, it could get out of control. And if it's something that's destructive, it can start taking up space and destroying native plants that are beneficial to the area. So you got to be careful about like what you're getting and stuff. But since that was on the list of what Arkansas bees like, that's what I grabbed, and I'll plant those probably right before it rains. The next time it rains, I'm not sure when that's going to be. I think it's going to be sunny all week. So right before it rains, I'll do that. Earlier today, I went and where I planted that oat grass, I threw out some seeds of winter green mix. And I mean, at the very least, the birds will come in and pick a bunch of it out and eat it, and like that's fine. But I'm hoping that will take as well, so there can be like some winter greens growing over there for any kind of bunnies or rabbits or whatever they're called. I'm not really sure what the difference between a bunny and a rabbit is, but one might be domesticated and one might be wild. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I planted those out there, and I'm excited. You know, it's the very end of spring. That's typically what I do is at the very end of spring. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta plant stuff, because I get so immersed in like the fall, like collecting everything, and then I'm just like continuously collecting stuff throughout the winter. And I'm like, oh, it's too cold to plant stuff. And then it's so fast. In Arkansas, it happens so fast. It's like you have like a 2 week period to get your shit done for most plants. So I tried to do it, but then I end up doing like late season stuff. And I also collect seeds from sorry, just 1 second. From tomatoes and peppers, bell peppers that I eat from the stores. I buy organic, and I put the seeds up on my dash up here, and I think I might be leaving them for a little bit too long. They might be getting a little bit too hot. I'm not sure if they're even alive still, if they'll sprout, but I've been keeping them in this because they're so tiny. But I'm gonna keep doing that, and next time, you know, try to just leave them up there just long enough for them to dry, and hopefully they won't get all baked, because that's no good. Typically what I do, like if I have a bell pepper, is I'll eat the bell pepper, and then like most of the seeds, I mean some of the seeds, I'll collect and put up on the dash and then keep them for later. But most of them I leave on that little, you know how it's like the clump of them, I'll leave on that, and then I'll find a place that looks like it's not being managed. Like I found this old, looked like a baseball park or a t-ball park that nobody was clearly managing. The weeds were growing all kinds of out of control. So I threw that out there, hoping, you know, if no one's gonna be out there mowing it and stuff, maybe they'll have a chance to survive. And anytime I go somewhere and I find like nice acorns, I got myself an acorn collection. I can't remember if I talked about this or not, but there's a little compartment down here for the back seat to store stuff. And I got, well, I got all kinds of acorns of all different sizes, but acorns in there. And it keeps them pretty nice because the air conditioning, the fans are right there on that same thing, so that whole thing like cools off, and then it pretty much stays cool. Like even putting my hand in there, it was pretty cool. And the car's been turned off for a minute, so yeah, nature. And I keep seeing the pine trees everywhere, and I'm like, damn, like this is basically a matchbox. When the wildfires come here, it's probably gonna be pretty bad. And like I wish National Park Service and like the cities and like the people who manage the land would start getting rid of the pine trees and plant something that's like drought resistant, plant things that would like prevent wildfires, hopefully. Like I'm not really sure what that would be, but I'm guessing like types of trees and plants that retain a lot of water would be beneficial. And that's something I'm personally going to be focusing on as well, is planting those kinds of things. You know, and I was thinking about those seeds, those acorns. I was like, you know what would be cool is to get like, you know, I get these styrofoam cups to get ice, and then I could like put some dirt in there and grow the acorn in my car and then like plant it somewhere. I mean, the problem would be finding somewhere to plant it, because I wouldn't want to do it somewhere I like to hang out, because then I would get kicked out of where I like to hang out at. And I wouldn't want to do it somewhere that I'd get arrested. And I also wouldn't want to do it, obviously, in a national park. So, gotta figure out where I would want to do that. But that's something maybe I could do, like, because it's so hot outside. They might do better in my car, or maybe wait